COD! I'll admit, my toxic trait is that I really like the Call of Duty franchise. It all started with my dad bringing home an Xbox 360 bundle that had Modern Warfare 2, a game that I was far too young to play, but my parents didn't really care, so thanks, Mom and Dad! I was obsessed with Modern Warfare 2. However, I would forget all about it the next year when Black Ops released. When I think Call of Duty, I think of Black Ops. The campaign was great, I sometimes played multiplayer, but then there was zombies. Zombies were everywhere in the 2000s. They were in comics, fighting plants, fighting the Yakuza. You couldn't escape them. The Zombies game mode didn't start in Black Ops. It actually started 2 years prior in Call of Duty World at War, but little Vash was only 5 when that game came out, so he was far more obsessed with LEGO Star Wars. Call of Duty World at War was released in 2008 with a pretty solid campaign. When you beat the campaign, you got this cutscene at the end of the credits. You're just some guy in a plane crash, but luckily someone's on their way to help. Multiple people, actually. On second thought, I don't think they're here to help. This was the first ever Zombies map, and no offense, but yeah, that shows. There's not a whole lot to do, but it still has enough for you to learn the basics. Board up the windows and see how long you can survive. Of course, you have a few things to help you along the way. There are weapons on the walls for you to buy, there are doors for you to open to give yourself more room to move around, and you can even find a cabinet upstairs that totally has a good weapon. Spend your points on the cabinet, surely you can't go wrong with the upstairs cabinet. If you're a fan of gambling, then there's also the mystery box. Spend 950 points and test your luck. Maybe you'll get a great weapon. Maybe you'll get the Car 98K. What you're really after is our first wonder weapon, the ray gun, completely exclusive to Zombies Asterisk. Technically, you can get the ray gun in the campaign, but that's an Easter egg, so that doesn't count. Speaking of Easter eggs, wait, no, that's down the line. Let's just move on to... I love insane asylums. They're like extreme escape rooms to me. Blah blah, reworked has the best atmosphere of any map, yada yada. But seriously, this map is genuinely creepy. I found that I've revisited this map way more than a certain later entry. reworked introduced a lot of things that have continued to this day. Things like a roaming mystery box, a power switch, traps, and the Perca-Colas. This map introduced 4 perks. Quick Revive, which in this game only allows you to revive your teammates faster. Double Tap improves your rate of fire. Speed Cola speeds up your life, allowing you to reload faster. And last, but certainly not least, Juggernog increases your health. All of these perks continue to be in every map, except for Double Tap, but we'll get to that later. reworked also does something interesting with the spawn location. They decided to split the spawn room into 2. If you play with more than 2 people, then your group will be split up. One half on the side with Juggernog, the other half on the side with Quick Revive. The door connecting the 2 groups may only be opened when the power is on. This is also where the seeds are sown for... I'm getting ahead of myself again. I'll tell you before we wrap up. Let's continue to... I do not like Shinon Numa, but I like what it introduces. The map is a swamp. My favorite type of location. You got water that slows you down, you got the color green, you got... floggers. Despite being my least favorite World at War map, Shinon Numa introduces something that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, but I've come around to, and honestly get a little upset when they're not in a map. That being, the Hellhounds. Hellhounds would have their own rounds starting between rounds 5 and 7, and would return every 4 to 5 rounds. Upon defeating a dog round, you are gifted a max ammo, which makes high rounds pretty easily attainable. This map also gives us our second wonder weapon, the Wunderwaffe DG2. It fires an electric blast that chains through zombies, making it perfect for training. Note, in zombies, the act of training refers to having a group of zombies follow you, like a train, in order to make mowing them down much easier. The Wunderwaffe was developed by Dr. Edward Richtofen. Now I know what you may be thinking, who the hell is Richtofen? Which brings me to the last thing that Shinon Numa introduced to us, the Ultimus crew. I'll explain the name sometime later, but for now allow me to introduce you to Takeo Misaki, Tank Dempsey, Nikolai Belinsky, and Edward Richtofen. They are all caricatures of soldiers from Japan, the US, Russia, and Germany. Tank was technically introduced in reworked, but I'll talk more about that at the end. For now, let's head to our final map, a German research facility. Biza is one of the most well-known Call of Duty Zombies maps of all time. I'd call this the real beginning of Black Ops Zombies as we know it. You have the teleporters in 3 sections of the map that lead to the main hub. Once all 3 are linked, you unlock the Pack-a-Punch machine. This is where you are able to upgrade your weapons, improving their damage, allowing you to last even longer. Dog rounds return, but with the twist that after the 3rd round, Hellhounds will begin to spawn during normal rounds. This map is also where you first encounter the Bowie knife. This replaces your regular knife and makes it a one-shot until round 9, I think? Don't quote me on that. However, the actual reason that I believe this is the true beginning of Black Ops Zombies is because this is where we get our first Easter egg, the fly trap, where we play hide and seek with this little ghost girl. Because of this Easter egg, we also start to learn about the story. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't think you'd be getting a history lesson with today's video, huh? Well, strap in. I've been chronicling this for the past 12 years and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. It all starts with Group 935, a scientific group led by Dr. Ludwig Maxis, focused on harnessing the power of Element 115 to create wonder weapons, Perca-Colas, an undead army, and the all-important teleporter. Maxis gives his daughter Samantha a dog named Fluffy. Fluffy is pregnant, something that excites the young Samantha as she really wants to keep the puppies. However, Fluffy is secretly being tested on. Maxis and Dr. Edward Richthofen, Maxis' research partner, are testing the teleporters with Fluffy. Things go awry, and Samantha walks in when Fluffy is teleported back into the room, this time in the hideous hellhound form. Samantha, upon seeing Fluffy, runs into the teleporter. Maxis chases after her, and Edward seizes the opportunity. He locks the three of them in the teleporter. Maxis urges Richthofen to open this door now, but Richthofen doesn't cooperate. Goodbye, Dr. Maxis. He activates the teleporter. Samantha, Dr. Maxis, and Fluffy are gone. But somehow, Samantha now has control of the undead horde. Now, let's go back a month or so to Reworked. Tank Dempsey, John Banana, Smokey, and Paxton Gunner Ridge are sent to the Group 935 Asylum research facility in order to extract American spy Peter McCain. Unfortunately, Peter McCain is nowhere to be found. Dempsey and Gunner make it out alive, but by different means. Gunner escapes and heads back to the US with the intel he received, while Tank is captured and experimented on by Group 935. Dempsey is sent to the Siberian facility where Richthofen is experimenting on our other two playable characters, Nikolai and Takio. Dempsey is actually the replacement for a test subject known as Pablo Marinus, but we don't need to worry about that guy right now. The subjects are exposed to Element 115, the mysterious element that Group 935 seeks to use for their development of their wonder weapons. The element severely affects the subjects as they all start to lose their memories. The three subjects are put to sleep 10 days after Dempsey's arrival. A month passes and the events with Maxis, Samantha, and Fluffy occur. Richthofen wakes up our trio of subjects who now have no memory of who they were before their unexpected rest. Richthofen assures them that they can trust him, and the four head to the Rising Sun facility to retrieve Richthofen's diary. We then head back to Biza, where we plan to use the teleporter to head to Griffin Station. Where's Griffin Station? I'll tell you later. Richthofen uses the Wonder Waffle on the teleporter in order to give it enough power, but this overloads the teleporter, sending them 18 years in the future. But we'll talk more about that when we get to Black Ops. I've been obsessed with the zombie storyline since Black Ops 2, and let me just say, it gets absolutely insane after this. I've left out some details here and there, but I'll fill in the gaps as we learn more of the story. However, this type of thing takes a while, so I'll come back to zombies in a bit. For now, I gotta go do some research on what happens in the story after Black Ops 4, because even I don't fully know what's going on right now.